So there we go. I will go into full screen mode and I will try to keep you all on mute. So there we go. And I will shrink those. Okay, so welcome everyone. The topic for today, again, is about 50 minutes about BI360. That is a business intelligence suite with pre-built connections, which means a pre-built integration for SAP Business One. So it's a general product with specific connectors to Business One, and that is actually now also available within Cloudiax. We have done the final testing and approval, so we know that it can be offered in the Cloudiax hosting environment. But of course, it's also possible to use BI360 outside of Cloudiax. I'm Mattias Brunk. I'm running the operations in Europe for BI360. And I will get back to our global representation and our partner channel as well. So have a nice another 50 minutes here. So to start with, what is BI360? And I will tell you a little bit about the concept, a little bit about Solver, and then I will focus mostly on doing an actual demonstration live on Business One. But I want to go through this first. So BI360 is a business intelligence suite with 4 main modules. We have the live reporting module that can be ran in Excel or on the web. We do have live budgeting module, which means you can have a live budget template writing directly back to Business One based on your dimensions, your chart of accounts, etc., giving you the opportunity to have a live budgeting and reporting tool in one platform. We do also have live dashboards. Those are web-based, and I will show you those in a couple of minutes. And if that is not enough, meaning if you have more data sources than just Business One that you want to connect and you want to report or budget from, we can offer a pre-configured data warehouse that can be put side by side with Business One, that can be put side by side with the live reporting and offer you a combination of live reporting and data warehouse reporting in one single platform. So those are the 4 main modules in BI360, and today I will focus on the 3 to the left: reporting, budgeting, and dashboards. Again, these modules or this product, BI360, can be offered on-premise or cloud or hosted, which means if anyone is running Business One in-house, you can install it BI360 in-house. We do have a cloud offering from us that is a service, but in this case, the most relevant scenario is that you are running SAP Business One in a hosted environment at Cloudiax. And then we have tested and verified that BI360 will run very smoothly inside their environment as well. We do have web or Excel interfaces. We have live reports, but again, as I said, the data warehouse can offer stage reporting, meaning you can import data on a regular basis from multiple source systems and have live reports on the data warehouse. And it's recommended by Cloudiax as an add-on to Business One. So what is it good for? Everything starts with some kind of business benefit. Regardless of how good technology you might have, you should always look on the business benefits. And I want to highlight 4 main business benefits with BI360. First of all, it's very easy to install. It takes about 1 hour maximum to install. You can actually do it in 10 minutes. It's a download of the software. It's a download of the pre-built integration. You install it. You have pre-built templates for Business One, about 20 of them. So once you have installed and configured the software, you can actually be up and running within 1 hour with a live reporting tool for Business One. And I really mean that. Within 1 hour, the installation can be up and running. Second, it's an easy design. So BI360 is a business user report writer. You don't have to be a technician or a consultant or an IT professional to build reports. It's built for business users. We have drag and drop design of the templates. And then, of course, the main category of users are what we call viewers, which means they only run a report with a parameter and it will populate with the live information in it. But the actual super user interface is for business users. If you know Excel, you will learn BI360 in one day. Third, it's easy to use. So these are the viewers. They just have to click run. They can do drill down. They can very easily export. And we do have a workflow for budgeting where you can have control of who has done what and when. So it's a really easy to use tool. No training is needed for the end users. The only one we train are the super users. And lastly, but quite often most importantly, it's easy to share information. You can of course copy paste from every template or every report you have, both in Excel and on the web. And the web-based portal is very easy to use for sharing information. You just log on to a web. Once in there, you will see all your reports with all the live information, and everyone just click an update button, and they will see the latest number in real time from Business One. We do also offer a publisher, which means we can distribute reports on a scheduled basis as an email. So for instance, each and every one of your customer will receive the weekly report what they have purchased, or you can distribute sales reports throughout your whole organizations on a monthly basis, etc. Those users receiving reports by a publisher does not need to have a license of BI360, which means you can actually distribute thousands of reports to thousands of users if you wish, with just one module license. And of course, the web-based portal supports mobile apps as well. A little bit about Solver. We are a global office or a global company. We have been around for more than 20 years, and I'm not sure how old you guys are. I'm not that old, but the first product we built was actually called XL Reporter or XLR. So that was a report writer for Business One that was acquired by the SAP, and XLR was actually included in Business One up to, I believe, version 8.9 or something. But then SAP dropped XLR and has no real substitute. I know they are referencing their customers to go to Crystal Reports, which I believe at least is not a business user tool or user friendly at all. It's a technician tool for IT professionals. But XLR, if anyone has seen it or used it, you will recognize a lot with BI360. So BI360 is basically the next generation of XLR built by the same development team. We do have more than 15 offices globally. So for instance, in UK, in the Benelux, in Spain, Italy, and Sweden, if we talk about Europe. And as you can see on the map, we cover basically the whole world. Those are Solver offices. We do also have partners. So our partner network is today about 150 partners globally. Those partners are resellers of BI360. So in the case you would be interested in signing up as a partner or trying BI360 as a customer, you just let me know after this webinar when I send you the email and we can connect and discuss that. So we are a partner-driven organization, but we can also offer direct relationships with customers that are interested. The two main hubs from Solver is in Los Angeles and in Stockholm. So I am based in Stockholm. I handle all the business, as I said, in Europe, where we do implementation, where we have the management, and of course, where we have support for Europe. But the development of BI360 is based in Los Angeles, where we have our global head office. Solver is about 200 employees, and we have more than 2,000 customers today. Not everyone on Business One, a lot of them are using Dynamics, but the SAP Business One customer base is the fastest growing for us at this moment. some customers, not all customers, but a lot of these customers are using Business One. So if you're interested in finding a reference or a customer case or a success story, that can easily be handled. So all of these are using BI360 in one way or another. So let's move into the product. So everything you see on this screen are live reports on Business One or dashboards. So that is the core of the product, and that is what I will demonstrate in a couple of minutes. So we are live on Business One. We connect directly to the Business One database, and reports you build, or we build for you, but normally you build them yourselves or through the partner. They are all connecting live to Business One, which means if a new transaction is created and a user runs a report a second after, that transaction will be included in the summarizations in that report. So the live connection is a very important factor with BI360. So we connect to Business One, normally the SQL version of Business One, and I know I'm going to get questions about HANA, and we are currently in development of supporting Business One on HANA. So it's not available today, but we expect to release it in Q1 next year. So my demonstration and our main customer base are using Business One on SQL. The integration out of the box by just installing will include more than 4,000 fields from Business One. So basically everything that you need to report on is included in the out-of-the-box integration. But not only the actual fields or attributes, we have also included a lot of logic in the integration. And with logic, I mean links. So normally we can connect from the general ledger to, for instance, the business partners hierarchy or the chart of accounts, etc., giving you the possibility to create complex report or advanced reports based on different attributes in different sections in Business One. So you can also combine information from, for instance, the general ledger and the account receivable into one simple report, showing you the values or the calculations, for instance, revenues by volume, by customer, etc., in one spreadsheet. And of course, not many people run Business One out of the box. A lot of people customize it. And of course, it's easy to customize the integration as well. So for instance, if you have added UDFs or custom tables in Business One, those can easily be included on top of the standard integration to give you a customer-specific integration, including your specific attributes, fields, or tables. So that is normally done within an hour or so. Cloudiax. Normally, what we have tested so far is that you are running Business One on a virtual machine in the Cloudiax environment. What we just do is we install BI360 on the same machine and you are up and running within 1 hour. With a web-based portal, we would recommend you to have a separate virtual server or virtual machine for the actual web-based portal, but everything will run and be hosted within Cloudiax. It's tested and verified. The interfaces, as I said, we offer Excel-based, web-based, and mobile-based interfaces. And these can be selected upon your preference, and you can go with one or the other or all three. So you can actually decide what you prefer. The price. I will not display any specific prices today, but of course, if you're interested, just respond to my email after the presentation. I will send you the pricing. But it has a low entry point, and that is the core idea of BI360. It should be easy to get started with the installation, and it should also be a low entry point. So you can pay as you grow if you want, but just to have a few users, since Business One customers are normally not that large organizations, we try to have a low entry point. The licenses can be bought upfront as an initial cost, or they can be rented as a software as a service license. So both those two options are available. So let's look a little bit more about the platform. So again, as I said, we have reporting, budgeting, and dashboards, and of course the data warehouse, live on Business One through the pre-built integration. So we have a middle layer basically connecting to the Business One database, making it possible to build dynamic reports in Excel, populating with the latest numbers in real time. The budgeting module will write back directly to a budgeting table in Business One, and the dashboards will also pull the numbers in real time from Business One. The design of the reports is being done within Excel, but the viewing of the reports can be either in Excel or on the web, and I will show you both in a second. Of course, we have an administrative interface where you can handle user permissions, integration customizations, etc., which means that not necessarily everyone does not need to be a Business One user in order to run a BI360 report from Business One. So BI360 does not connect within the Business One application. It's a side-by-side application, making it possible to distribute information to people not having a license on Business One. So that can be a benefit. It's, as I said, and as I will show, it's an easy drag and drop design for business users, and it can be on-premise or hosted. And in this case, I would assume most of you would use it hosted within Cloudiax. And again, you can run it on-premise, you can run it in cloud, you can run it in Excel, and everything can be run in the web-based portal if you wish. To those three base modules, we have some options. I will not show you all of these options today because time does not allow for that. But for instance, we offer a multi-company module which gives you the possibility to live consolidation throughout an unlimited number of companies. So if you are running Business One with multiple legal entities, you can have consolidated reports summarizing actuals and budgets, of course, throughout all those entities into one single view in real time. So the live consolidation is an add-on for unlimited number of legal entities within one Business One implementation. Then we have the publisher. I mentioned that. That's for distributing reports by email as a PDF, Excel, or HTML. It can be scheduled and it can be run on conditions. So for instance, every Monday morning at 9, it will distribute the last week sales reports or the last week customer reports, etc., all automatically, and the receivers does not need a license at all. The data warehouse I have mentioned, it's for advanced consolidation and of course to add more than one data source. So if you're running Business One with some other systems, we can put the data warehouse in, we can import values and data from Business One, but basically from any other systems as well, cloud-based or on-premise. So that is a very flexible solution. And to the data warehouse, we do offer some pre-built cloud connectors, for instance, for Salesforce, etc. And we're adding more connectors as we go. And you can always connect to any sources system by using what's called SSIS, meaning it's an integration service within SQL Server. So that can connect to basically any type of data source. So everything again are live reports. They come out of the box. So we offer about 20 pre-built templates. Once you purchase BI360, we will install it. You will get 20 templates that you can run from day one or from hour 2. But of course, the main purpose of BI360 is that it is a self-service report designer. So I will show you some of the pre-built reports, but more importantly, I will show you how you would work with the product yourself as a super user. So enough speaking or talking, and let's move into looking at the product. So as I said, BI360 has two types of users. Either you are a designer, meaning a super user, or you are a viewer, meaning someone that can run a report that someone else has built and refresh the data in real time. So I will show you this from the beginning, and I will show you the super user view. So what you will see now is basically 1 day of training compressed into 10 minutes. And remember that these are for the super user only. This is the actual report writer where you build and design the templates yourself. So if I have BI360 installed, I will have a new menu in Excel, and we support Office 2007 or later, including Office 365. So basically every Office version on the market now. So if I am a super user and I have BI360 installed and I want to build a new report, I click New Report. It will then ask me from what source system and from what company. So again, each template is pulling numbers from a single or a specific company in Business One. But as I mentioned, we do also offer a consolidation module that will pull information from multiple companies within Business One. But in this case, I will connect to one of my entities and I will see the super user view. So to the left, and again, this is not for everyone, this is for the super users. This is a graphical representation of our integration. So to the left, we have all the different modules in Business One. So of course, we have the financials with the ledger transactions, etc. We have the sales opportunities. We have the accounts receivable. So we just find this one. You have the accounts payable. You have the business partner. You have the inventory, etc. So basically, again, we have more than 4,000 fields included in this integration. So depending on what modules you use, you would probably find the relevant information in the pre-built integration. But again, if you have added any tables or custom attributes, those can be included as well. So within each module in Business One, we have grouped the information. So for instance, if I want to look on my production orders, I would just expand that folder and I will see a list as a designer of the available fields for reporting. And as you can see, there is a lot of fields in this. So anything you see in these field lists, if I move into my accounts receivable invoices, can be used in a report. So the trick with BI360 is not to build a report. The trick is to know what fields to use. And that is why we quite often have a partner involved, because they know what fields you are using in Business One. And it's not just the fields from the tables. As I said, we do also have links. So for instance, my accounts receivable invoice has an attribute for business partner. That is linked by the business partner code to the business partner table, which means I can build a report from my accounts receivable invoice table, but for instance, grouping it or summarize it by state or country, etc. So these links are a really valuable asset in BI360, which makes it possible to build very advanced reports without having to know the relationships yourself. So for instance, sales employee reports, where you summarize values or amounts of volumes by employees, is also possible. So I will do the demo on the financials and the journal transactions. So it will be a standard P&L report. So if I'm about to build a report template, I will give it a title. So again, a lot of this is Excel. So this is my P&L report. So what I need to do is to drag and drop the fields I want to use. So if I want to build a P&L, I want to display some values by account and month. So let's start with account code. I'm dragging and dropping, and I get a question. Do I want this to expand by row, by column, or not at all? So in this case, I want account by rows, but not only the account code. I want to go in and I want to find the account name. So basically, this is a report already. If I go to the Run tab, this is what the end users will see. So the viewers, they will see my template. They don't have to know anything about the design or the fields or the attributes in Business One. They will just open a template, and for this moment, they just have to run it. So when I click Run, we will actually just send a query to Business One saying, please bring me all my accounts that I have in Business One. So this is my full chart of account. If a new account is added and I click Run again, of course, that list would be refreshed, including the latest accounts. So whenever someone clicks Run on a template, we will send a query to Business One. It will be executed and the result will be returned back to Excel for the moment. So let's move ahead. I have accounts by row. I said I want periods by column. And if I have month and an account, I say I want to summarize the amount. So I'm dropping amount in the intersection between period and account. And BI360 will understand that this will be summarized. So when I run this now, I have a parameter for period. So the end users, they will open up the template, they will select the time period. So for instance, if I want to view my numbers for June 2006, I will click Run, and it will summarize in real time. Of course, if something changes in Business One for this period and I rerun the report, the numbers would be updated. So it's a live query to Business One, bringing me the live result in Business One. Going back to design mode, and I want to do some configurations to my period parameter. I want to allow for multi-selection. So now I have actually created a report with dynamic rows depending on the accounts that I have in Business One, but I will also have dynamic columns depending on the user selection. If someone runs this for June, I will see the live numbers on June, but of course if someone says I want to run this for a full year, I will get 12 columns. So each and every one of these values are a summarization of the underlying transactions. So any value can be right-click and do a drill down as an end user, which means I will do a drill down on this specific account for this specific time period. In this case, January 2006, for my inventory finished goods account number. Once I do a drill down, I will get a temporary tab. So going back, this is still my report. I just got a drill down on a separate tab where I list all the underlying transactions and the full transaction details live on the transaction table in Business One. So this sum of amounts is 1308844, and it happens to be the exact number. So of course, this drill down can be done on any value. Just right click and do a drill down, and you will see a list of the underlying transactions, which means you can build templates having a pretty compressed appearance, which means you don't have to display all the details at once. You can just highlight the values that needs to be investigated, and the end users can right click and do the deep analysis on their own. And if the list of transaction is long, which means you would get a long list once you do a drill down, you can also select to go to the pivot table drill down. So I am still in the same intersection, meaning January 2006 for this specific account, but I will get a drill down pivot table where I can do my ad hoc analysis. So I want to see my amount, but I want to, for instance, see, I'm just going to find a value where I have something. Let's take my business partners. Okay, so I have one business partners and I have some blank ones, and it's one account. So let's just see if I have any transactions type. Yeah. So this is the type of free analysis that can be allowed starting from the standardized format in your report. So talking about formatting, let's go back to the designer and do some formatting. And as you all know, Excel is Excel. You can spend 2 weeks in doing grid lines and some conditional formatting. I will spend 2 minutes, but let's give it some titles. So this is account and account name. Let's just make this blue and I don't know, white. I usually try to remove the grid lines and expand that a little bit and run it again. So every formatting that Excel supports can be used in BI360. So that brings us into some more advanced logic, because for the moment I'm just pulling my full chart of accounts. It's not really a P&L. I want to add some logic to this template. Going back to design mode and start looking at some summarizations and some account groups. So for instance, if I want to have a subtotal, it would just be about summarizing the rows above, because the sum formula in Excel is of course supported, but you can use a lot of advanced formulas, VLOOKUP, COUNTIF, SUMIF, etc. Everything that Excel supports is supported in BI360. So that is my subtotal. And let's assume I want to have a subtotal for revenues. I'm just going to hide that row. So this is my row group that for the moment is unfiltered. Here I can create a filter as a designer saying it should only be this range of accounts or that range plus these specific accounts. And again, just as a reminder, everything I'm showing you now by account and month can be applied to any type of attribute. So regardless if you're building a volume by customer and product report, or in this case, amounts by account, all these type of logics would be applied. So I will not use that type of grouping. I will do a quick one that says every account that starts with a 4, because those are my sales accounts. I will then copy this. I will paste it 1, 2, and say that my revenue starts with a 4, these will start with a 5, and these will start with a 6. So that is not revenues. I believe those are COGS, and those are expenses. And let's make it bold. And then, of course, I have some. Given that my revenues are with a minus, the result would be revenues plus COGS plus expenses. So again, Excel formula, BI360 will be in control on referencing the relevant fields. And of course, if you want, and I do want that, you can add some conditional formatting. So if it's less than 0, it should be good because my revenues are with a minus. And of course, you can have a sign converter just by multiplying with -1 on the revenues if you want to have revenues as a plus. But standard in Business One, those are with a minus. And then, of course, if it's greater than 0, it's going to be bad. Then let's run it. And let's run it for a full year. Okay. So it's not really a P&L yet, but at least there are some revenues. I have some COGS, I have some expenses, I have some gross result or a gross margin that's doing poor in the beginning because my sales are picking up first until the end of the year. So of course, then we're starting to get some good numbers to the right. Then one question could be, going back to design, well, the gross result is good, but what if I want the gross margin? Well, if I have the result, the margin is the result divided by the revenues, formatted as a percentage. So let's run it again. And I have, as easily as that, just added a calculation for gross margin. So basically, if you know Excel, you will learn BI360 in 1 day of training. Anything again from any field, from any fact set we have, can be included in a report. So again, I'm sticking to the financial side since that is the easiest way to do a demo. But you can build report from your purchasing module, your accounts receivable, etc. Finally, the product comes with a lot of time intelligence out of the box. So for instance, if I want to display the actual amount, the actual for the month, I want to compare that to the actual for the same month last year. I want to calculate the difference. I want the year to date, the last year to date, and the difference between these two. This is a standardized financial format, so I would just do some very basic formatting again and show you how easy it would be to create this type of report. So what I need to do is to drag and drop the period ID to these columns, because all of these has something to do with the period ID, like that. I now have 4 column groups and 3 row groups, and let's start by that one. So that will automatically be filtered by the selected parameter. However, this one should be the same month but last year. So we have a big set of time intelligence functions out of the box. If these are not enough, you can add custom ones on your own. So the only thing I need to do as a designer is to say that this should be the same period last year. This one should not be just the monthly amount, it should be the year to date. And this one should be the last year to date. By just doing that, BI360 will automatically handle all the time calculations for you. So the only thing left is to tell BI360 that the amount should be summarized in the same way. And of course, if I have the monthly actual in this one and the last year's actual in this one, the difference is the one minus the other. So just take that, copy, and the same for year to date. And I'm done. So let's run it. Now I should not run it for a lot of months. I will select, in this case, February 2007. When I run it, it will automatically, and I think I forgot an expanding group, so hold on, I'm going back. Yeah, so this one should not be expanding, it should be aggregated. So let's rerun it. So I will, out of the box, just like that, see the actual for February 2007 compared to the actual 2006, the differences, the year to date for February 2007 compared to the year to date 2006. All of that pre-built out of the box. So again, drag and drop by using any attribute, summarization of any values in BI360. So for instance, if we talk about your accounts receivable invoices, of course, you can use volumes, quantities, percentages, discounts, etc. So there's a lot of things to summarize. Everything that has a yellow symbol with a dollar sign can be used for summarizations. And if I had some more time, I would, of course, add some more graphics to this. So this is an out-of-the-box report that you would get for Business One that will run in real time. And the only thing you would have to change in this one is your account groups depending on your chart of accounts. So for the moment, we have revenue starting with a 4, cost of sales being this account, etc. But all of this will run out of the box. And these graphs are, of course, just Excel graphs being updated based on the numbers. So if I select another time interval, or another user runs it at the same time for another time interval, he or she would see those numbers based on their permissions for their parameter selection. So the templates are generic and every user is working in a local copy. That is for financials. Of course, the standard package will include some more reports. For instance, a sales report by customer, where you can pull information by customer and see the different products you have, what price you have sold, the quantities, the tax, etc. So again, this is an example of a report that you would get out of the box, But once you have gone through 1 day of training, you would understand that this is not hard to build, and if it's built, it's very easy to customize based on what you want to see in this. And again, if you are creative with Excel, these are not BI360 dashboards. These are just some graphs in Excel that pulling information in real time from Business One. So if you are creative, you can create very graphical reports with the Excel-based designer as well. Finally, I have an inventory report just to show you different examples of what you actually can do. They are not that fancy formatted, but again, this is pulling live from your inventory in Business One based on the different warehouses you have. It displays the products, the items, the item names, the values, and the quantity you have in stock. So again, if this inventory or the stock changes, you run it again, those numbers would be changed in real time depending on your inventory in Business One. So there is a lot of flexibility, and there's a lot of ideas of what you could do in types of reporting. So just to reflect back to my presentation, what I just showed you was the reporting. So this is the base module in BI360. This is where everything starts. You build reports by dragging and dropping, and you can have the end users, as I have done, opening your template, having more, of course, than one parameter, for instance, by business partner or organization. And whenever they click run, they see the live numbers with drill down. The Excel version also supports a custom publish function, which means that each viewer can click publish. And what happens is that I still in my background have my live report that I can update, but I have actually created a snapshot of the numbers as they were this very second. So for instance, if I want to do some own calculations in this one, I'm not sure what it would be, but let's say the one divided by the other as a percentage, I could do some ad hoc analysis or calculations in this one if I want as an end user. But more importantly, I can send this to someone. This is just an Excel file. I can send it as an attachment to someone that does not have BI360, where I can create a report book giving me my material I need for the board meeting or the control group committee for next week. By just clicking one button, I can generate a multi-tab report, and I can just export it to Excel and send it by email or including in a PowerPoint, etc. So this is the Excel-based reporting. If you have the web-based portal from BI360, the designer would still build the reports like this, but he or she would then click upload report. What happens if you click upload report is that the report template will be uploaded to the web-based portal that you would have in your Cloudiax environment, where the end users would log on. So here are my report library. Of course, I can view it in different ways, where I can run a report in real time, just as I'm doing in Excel. So whenever I click refresh, these numbers are being updated in real time from Business One. So this is basically just a web rendering of an underlying Excel spreadsheet. So I can copy, and I can, of course, paste into Excel from the web-based portal if you wish. And everything that you can do in Excel will be supported in the reports that you build in the portal or that you run in the portal. So again, it's another way of viewing reports. Either you run them in Excel or you run them in the web-based portal. The drill down is also available, so you can see underlying transaction in the web-based interface. And as I said, we have a mobile app that will connect to the portal and allow for mobile reporting. So that was the reporting. I also mentioned that we do have dashboards. So if you have the web-based portal, you can upload Excel-built reports, but you can also build live dashboards. So this is our own dashboard module. You build them in the same way by dragging and dropping fields and values into different types of graphical components. So in this case, I have my project dashboard. I see a list of my projects in Business One in real time and the actual amount spent on them. To the right, I see some different KPIs. So this is like my project scorecard or my project cockpit. It's again live on Business One. I just click refresh and the numbers would update. You can also have an auto refresh setting on this one. For instance, we have a couple of customers with big displays in their call center, for instance, giving them a real-time view of the sales or the number of calls into their organization by this very second, being updated once every minute or so. Again, these are connected, so if I click on one of the projects, the other components will update. So depending on my responsibility, I would probably see a list of my projects, and I can just easily go through all of them and see which projects are performing bad and which ones are performing good. And again, these are projects, might as well be customers or products or regions or organizational units, etc. It's all about what you drag and drop into the components when you're designing the dashboards. So there's a lot of flexibility in what you can do. I have another example I just want to show you where I have my revenues. It's a revenue dashboard where I can do drill down as well. So I'm starting in this case by displaying or comparing my revenues by different sales units. So I have 4 different regions in my organization. If I click on one of them, I drill down into that division and displaying the different quarters. So there's a lot of things to do with these different components, and you can have drill downs into different sections, and you can have different visualizations, and of course a lot of the things you see can be customized. So again, I started with the reporting. I showed you the dashboards now, built by super users as well. That's also one day of training. It's using the same live integration, connecting directly to Business One and pulling the numbers in real time. Then finally, let's talk a little bit about budgeting. So as I said, I'm just going to log out and log in with another user. We have a preset number of templates for Business One. So the report you would get out of the box is 30. So these are all templates pre-built. I showed you 4 of them that will run out of the box on Business One. If you purchase the budgeting module, we will provide you with additionally 4 templates, 2 for input and 2 for consolidation of budgets. So for instance, these could also be very easily customized using the Excel-based designer just to map your account or chart of accounts. So in this case, to the right, I have my actuals for this year. So if I'm about to do a budget for 2017, I want to display the actuals for 2016. So if I move to the right, I have my full year forecast, meaning I have actuals up to September because I selected that as a parameter. I am in October, but I still want to get a full year forecast. So I'm including the remaining budgets for the remaining periods this year, based on what I have selected in this parameter. Again, these are budget IDs or budget names live on Business One. So if you add a new one, that would be available in this template. So in order to do a budget, I want to see my actuals. And of course, as I said, you can do the drill down wherever you are and see the underlying transactions. Then to the left, and this is easy to customize if you want it to the left or to the right, I have some yellow fields for data input, and the reason why they are yellow is because they are formatted yellow in Excel. So if you like pink better, that will be doable. I'm not sure about dotted, but there's a lot of flexibility. So the point is, this is basically just a report, right? But with data input possibilities. So you can copy paste as you would in Excel, adding the numbers. That would be your budget for this period for this account. I'm doing my budget for one specific department. So the idea here is that you have obviously multiple departments or organizational units where each user is doing their budget for their department in this case. The second anyone clicks store data, those 17 values that I changed is written back to Business One in real time. So it's now refreshing the report, but the values has been written back to Business One, which means if you have an organization with multiple budget users doing their budget, you can consolidate the budgets in real time, because again, remember that the report generator in BI360 is always live on the underlying information. So whenever I click refresh, I will see a consolidated view, in this case in a P&L format, for all my budget managers divided by department. So this is department 1, this is department 2, and this is the sum of department 1 and 2. And of course, if you have 10 departments, you would get 10 columns instead of 2. Again, everything is drillable, so you can see what budget transactions are included in this number that I right-clicked on. So within the budget module, you will get one budget input for 12 monthly values. You will get one forecasting input looking very similar, but in this case, I'm forecasting the remaining periods this year. So depending on what actual month I'm selecting, let's assume we're starting our forecast not to 2020, it should be 2016. In May, I can use, remember, still one and the same template starting in May. So I'm about to do a forecast from June and forward in this one. And next month, I would just say, well, now I have actuals up to June. Let's do a forecast for July and forward, etc. I'm just going to wait for this to render. There we go. Now I have 7 columns for input doing my forecast in the same way I would do in my budgeting template. So it's a flexible column setting on this one, but it's again one and the same template, it's one and the same definition being used by multiple users for every month during the year. So there is no distribution of Excel spreadsheets, there is no manual updating of actuals or changing the columns, etc. All of that is handled dynamically with BI360. So reporting budgeting dashboards, I have mentioned and I have said that we do have a data warehouse that allows for multiple data sources. I will not show you the data warehouse itself, but if you have the data warehouse from BI360, what you will do in order to build a report from the data warehouse just be to connect to that one. So the only difference from a report designer perspective is that instead of connecting to Business One, you can also connect to the data warehouse. Once you have done that, you will see to the left a representation of what information do I have in my data warehouse, and that can be used for reporting in the same way as you would live on Business One. So the report generator is the same, it's just a different data source. And I'm done. So 3 minutes to go. I will actually stop here. We have gone through BI360 Solver, of course, our customers, the different modules we have, reporting, budgeting, and dashboards, plus the data warehouse. I have said that the entry point is low and you can add more users, and we use named users. And with the publishing function, you can actually select how many that actually should have a license or which ones that should be passive users receiving reports that cannot be updated. I did the demo, I show you all the different modules, and I will, right after this meeting, send all of you the PowerPoint, a link to the recording that you can easily share to your colleagues if you wish. And if anyone has any questions afterwards, just respond to my email and I will answer it right away. So thank you very much for joining, and I hope you have a nice day.